but he seems great on social media. One time, a guy slid in my DMs to compliment my peach, and I said, don't you have a fiance? And he says, I do have a fiance, but we're in an open relationship. And I said, okay, if I messaged her, would she say the same thing? And he said, yes, you can message her right now. And he was really emphasizing the right now part. So I gave it 24 hours. And the next day I messaged her and I said, hey, your fiance said that you're in an open relationship. Is that true? And she said, he's allowed to sleep with other women that I choose. I did not choose you. And not as a nice way. And then he sent me a really angry message saying, why would you ask her? Why would you tell her? Obviously, she doesn't want to know who I'm spending time with. This man had, in fact, invited me to go to the bar that they both worked at. And like, he would get me in and get me free drinks. And then he openly on his Instagram stories ends their engagement. 3 months later, they were in Vegas and he surprised her with their wedding. Flew their both sets of parents out and pressured her to get married. They were divorced swiftly afterwards. Another time, a man in this app who was a therapist, he had curly hair, he was always in the gym. I think his name was Kyle. At one point he slid into my DMs and I went and looked at his page, and his wife or girlfriend or someone had just recently given birth to his child. Another time, a man who professed that he was a good guy trying to do better on here and gave life advice to men. He slid into my DMs and he was complimenting me and my height. And I said, don't you have a wife and 3 kids? And he said, I do. She is so tall and she's the most gorgeous tall woman I've ever laid eyes on. And he tried to play it off like it wasn't inappropriate what he said. So I screenshot the messages, sent them to his wife, and he has never posted on TikTok again or Instagram, and swiftly unfollowed me and blocked me on TikTok. I never believe a man's persona on the internet, especially the ones that give dating advice, because I'd say 99% of the time the dating advice that they're giving is, you're a woman and aren't you just so stupid for believing men? Most dating advice men on the internet are actually nagging women, and they're insulting women and then selling them the answer to the insult.